Hey, what is going on YouTube? Here is the Cartoon Collector, guys, and today I have 11 new Blu-ray pickups, so here we go! Let's start with the first pickup. This is actually a pickup from 2 weeks ago, and that is the movie called Super. The funny fact about this movie is I cannot buy this in my own country because it's never released, but this movie is really cheesy, really low budget, but it looks a lot like Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2. I would say that Kick-Ass is the better one of the two. This movie is actually a story about a guy who gets fired on his work and his relationship is ending and he's trying to strike back actually. It comes with the slipcover. This is the UK edition. And you know, I really hate the UK Blu-rays because the spine is twice as thick as the normal Blu-rays for some reason, I don't know. The movie is funny. Kevin Bacon is playing in it, and also Ryan Wilson. It is a funny one, but not so good as Kick-Ass, but that is probably a budget problem there, or a budget thing there. So yeah, Super. I picked it up for like $4 or $5, something like that. Then also from Amazon, and this is a crazy pickup because it was really cheap. I paid I think 10 or 12 pounds, so that's around 15 included shipping, and that is the complete Indiana Jones collection. Fun fact is I never saw any of these movies for 100%. Of course I saw some Indiana Jones when they were on television, national television, on cable, but I never watched a full movie or something. This is an awesome set, especially for that price. Inside the box you have the movies, and besides that you got some extras. There's a loose disc full of bonus features, and that is 7 hours of special features like making ofs, interviews, and so on and so on. So for like $15 I got the complete set of Indiana Jones, which is an amazing deal, I think. This movie I recently watched, also from the UK, The Truman Show. I think one of the better Jim Carrey movies. I'm a huge fan of Jim Carrey. This is a movie actually about his life. It is a comedy drama about his life, where he is actually in a TV show without knowing he's in a TV show. At the moment he got born actually, so like 30-40 years ago. From that moment on he's in a TV show, and then in the end of the movie they telling him that he is in a TV show, and then he needs to make a choice, step out or stay in the... It's like a Big Brother type of movie, but it's a really good movie, and it's got really high rated on IMDb as well. Then a classic one, George Lucas. This is actually the movie that gave George Lucas the financial space to create Star Wars, and that is American Graffiti. This movie was really low budget. It's made with around $1 million, but it was such a huge success that with the money he created from this movie, he was able to make the first 3 Star Wars movies. I never knew that. This movie is a a feel-good movie. It's a comedy. It's not so funny as lots of other comedies, but it's a feel-good movie about the time when Grease was big, and Elvis, and it's a rock and roll hillbilly type of movie. It is a fun movie, and I think everybody should watch this because it's such a classic movie. Then my very first Arrow pickup, also from UK, that is Big Trouble in Little China. The reason why I don't pick these up a lot is because mostly is horror and so on. I don't like horror at all. I need to get my information which company has the most action, adventures and comedies and dramas and thrillers, because besides Arrow you also have Nova, you have Scream Factory, Shout Factory, and so on and so on. But I need to see which one has the most unique classic movies. So this one is an Arrow one. I picked it up for 8 or 9 pounds. Big Trouble in Little China. Of course, Arrow is Arrow. You have the alternative slip behind, or yeah, it's not a slip, it's like the cover, right? And then special features like interviews again, and making of, optional subtitles, and a high definition presentation of the film. So yeah, Big Trouble in Little China. Probably going to watch this after this clip. Then Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner in Romancing the Stone. This is also another classic I never saw. It was on the cheap, £3 or £4, and I was like, yeah, pick it up. And yeah, you know, it's a little bit the style of Indiana Jones, right? And because I picked this up, I also picked up the sequel or prequel, or how you want to say it, The Jewel of the Nile. It has something to do with this one. Yeah, this is the sequel. It's the sequel to Romancing the Stone. So this is like part 1 and this is part 2. Movies that everybody have to see once in a lifetime, because, you know, they are such some classics. And in part 2 we also see Danny DeVito, but I think... Yeah, in part 1 he's also in part 1, but in part 2 he's on the cover. Probably for marketing reasons, and on part 1 he was not. Then... more American Graffiti. This is actually the sequel to American Graffiti you saw earlier. This movie was released a couple of years after American Graffiti. When I see the reviews of this is totally shit. This is weird, because American Graffiti is rated like 8 out of 10 or something like that. And part 2 is like rated 2 or 3 out of 10. And somebody is fucking truck, man. So yeah, for some reason this one is not so good as part 1. This is rated like 2 or 3 out of the 10, and the first one is really high rated. But I'm definitely going to watch this. I think some of the cast is changed, and timeless soundtrack with Simon and Garfunkel, Bob Dylan, The Doors, and The Byrds. So yeah, more American Graffiti. Probably going to watch it. Then 3 steelbooks I picked up, and I'm really happy to have these, especially for this price. The first one was between 10 and 12 pounds again. It's one of my all-time favorites when I look to music films or musical films, and that is The Sound of Music. This is the 50th anniversary steelbook edition, 50 years of the happiest sound in the world. And you know, the Sound of Music is awesome. On the inside you see the family Von Trapp, that's how they are called. And you got a 2-disc set. You also have special features like interviews, again, behind the scenes. And yeah, The Sound of Music is an awesome musical. I love musicals because I studied for it. I did a theater and musical school, so I'm probably going to pick up a lot more, like Cats and Footloose, you know, all these very awesome musicals. The Sound of Music, everybody knows it because of the song Do Re Mi. Then the second one was also really cheap, Rise of the Foot Soldier. I think it was 6 or 7 pounds, based on the shocking true story. It's actually a story about a British gang. The inside is not so special. There's no inside artwork or something, if I'm correct. This is the extreme extended edition. Yeah, it's about a British gang that tried to rule the city. And the rest I will not spoil. You have to see it. 6 or 7 pounds. It was really cheap for a steelbook, though. The last one that was, funny enough, the cheapest one of the 3, and this is actually the best release of the 3, and that is Alfred Hitchcock Lifeboat. This is my first black and white movie I have, besides Schindler's List, but you know, originally black and white. This is really old, and this is an awesome release. I paid 5 or 6 pounds actually for this Eureka Master of Cinema release. It's also my first Master of Cinema release. The inside is fucking awesome. You got a DVD version and a Blu-ray version, and there are some special features, but they're on the Blu-ray disc. And on the inside, at the back, you see some artwork, but besides that you have a little booklet with information about the movie and about the special features that are on the disc. Lifeboat is actually about a lifeboat. It's, you know, it is what it is. People say it's one of the best Alfred Hitchcock releases ever. I think I never saw one, or maybe I did, but I cannot remember. I think I did, but I think I cannot remember. But yeah, for 6 or 7 pounds or something like that, awesome. In total, I paid for these 11 or 12 releases around 80 euros, including shipping. So that's pretty cheap. So I hope you guys let me know if you have any of these steelbooks, especially because I want to know, you know, if you saw Lifeboat or Big Trouble in Little China or something like that. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.